What is up, guys? It's your boy No Risk No Premium back with another episode of the market overview, guys. Today, a lot of the charts, a lot of the indices look like we did have some sellers stepping in. We got some nice wicks going up here on some higher time frames. Does that mean that we're at the top of this run? I don't know because I don't know why. Because we do have some data tomorrow that would be interesting. We need to see how this plays out first. Initial jobless claims comes out 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have to pay attention to that now. I don't know if that's going to be quite the mover like, PPI or CPI, but I think it'll definitely be worth our attention to see how we react. Why? Because anytime the Fed talks about what's going to be going on with their policy, it has to go around anything that's price related, that's CPI, PPI, PCE, or anything jobs market related. So whether that's the non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, jobless claims, etc., we have to pay attention to, and we get that print tomorrow. Then we have to pay attention to a little bit of data that does come 30 minutes into the market open. So 1 hour before the market open, 30 minutes into the market, we need to pay attention there. Now onto the chart. So look, not getting overwhelmingly a sell candle or sell volume here, but nonetheless can't deny that we basically wicked up and came back down. So what does that mean for tomorrow? Just depends where we open up, really. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. Just depends where we open up, right? Really, you could use this 4509. I like 4500 really because that's the previous day low from 2 days ago now. Will be tomorrow, will be 2 days ago. So watch the 4500. I think 4500 will be a safe break to look for a short opportunity here. 4500 will be a safe short opportunity. If so, I think you can watch for this 4480. But really, I like this bounce down here, 4435. That's going to be that level, right? That'll be that where we had the break of structure back here, right? We had this break of structure move up. So I think the back test of this zone in here, I'll be watching 4435. I really like the long trade in there if we break below 4500. But if 4500 to 4509 holds, we're going to look to go right back to 4540. I think all the way up to 4560 would be the move from there if we're going to hold this back test of 4500. So watch the 4500 to 4509 level. If we hold it, look for a rotation back up to highs, 4540 to 4560. 4560 looking left here, but definitely look to see if we can get a short opportunity or just a reject going on underneath 4500. Short trade opens up 4480, 4435. From there, I like to bounce at 4435. On to the SPY chart here. We can go to the daily to start so we can see huge downtrend break. We have broken structure. It looks very nice. We love to see it. Okay, getting a doji up here, not overwhelming, right? Not overwhelming volume either side. Doji more so indicates an indecisiveness, right? So we could see though right to this 451 and held. Okay, right to 451 and held. 453 is the big mark because there's a gap from there up to about 455 on the daily. Definitely would be looking for a reject there if we hold 448.50. 448.50 is going to be our area to watch to hold today and overnight. Have to watch to see if we're going to hold it overnight. If we hold it overnight, great. On the data, look for a rotation back to 451, 453. Look for the reject to 453 because that's going to be that gap filled double top reject. I'd be looking for a break and hold of 453 opens up that gap to 455 and the likes above 52-week high more than likely in play over 455. Now, short trade sets up underneath where? Let's get down here to a 4 hour, just a little bit smaller time frame. We could see lots of wicks going on here on the 4 hour chart. Right, we had lots of wicks to start off the day, went right over that 451-ish area. But looking here, I think the short trade is going to set up underneath 448. 448 to 448.50. Watch that zone to hold. That's going to be like that 4,500 to 4,509 on the ES chart. Watch that area to hold. If we hold it on the pre-market data that we get tomorrow, more than likely get a rotation back to 451, 453. Underneath 458 sets up the short trade down to 446, which is that big gap on the daily. Can look for an initial bounce there, but I think if we do start to fill the gap down, it's going to be up 50% gap fill will be about 444. All the way gap fill will be about 441. I would look for the bounce absolutely at either one of those levels, 444, 441 respectively. 441 would be a complete gap fill. Onto the spot, or excuse me, onto the QQQ world, which is in tech land, which has been strong as ever. Already broke out of that downtrend. You guys can see from there. Very nicely done. Huge gap here on the daily. Not really see, I mean, gapped up to kind of fade all day long, really, but not seeing overwhelming volume. I really think we have to wait to see what happens with that data tomorrow. But really going to be all about this area in here at about 383. That's going to be the gap fill down 383.50 to 384. I'm going to watch that area tomorrow. Okay. Obviously, we had a little bit of a rip up higher in the pre-market here, got above that 52-week high, 388, got above it, got up to 389.50, but could not sustain it right at the open. That's how we faded down. Really came down to this 383.50, but ultimately I think it's going to be this 383-ish, 383.50 for this possible gap fill down, right? All the way down to about 389-ish, 389-ish. Right, 389-ish, but look along the way, just zooming out, looking left, we could get stopped short, right? We could get stopped short in that gap fill. I mean, I don't have any faith in the Bears after this complete just massacre of shorts back to the upside. Watch for this 380. Watch for this 380, right? Breaking out from that level. Watch for that bounce in that zone. Nonetheless, though, 379, 380 can watch for the gap fill. Not all the way if it doesn't want to, but watch 380 will be your first area you'd want to watch for a possible bounce underneath the 383 gap fill. Still lots of great downside here for the short opportunity. It's going to be tough to keep calling the top, but watch for a break of this big support here now at 383, which would set up 380, 379. Okay, at 380, 378.50-ish. If we do get under those zones, next big level I like for the bounce, 373.50 would be that break of structure, right? For that back test. Think of that as like that of like that 441-ish area on SPY, 434.35-ish area on the ES. Guys, last but not least, IWM. IWM broke. It filled its gap up to 180 finally, and then went up and touched this 182 zone, right? We could see we had massive support in this zone, and then finally broke down from it with this supply candle here, went right back up and tested it. So tomorrow is going to be all about this 176 back test, 176.50, right? Multiple tops into this area. Watch to see if we come back down and back test this area to here. We still have this huge gap, but you don't have to worry about that till 176. We have to break under 174. We have to break under 176.50 first, right? So I'm going to watch the back test into a 176.50. I'll definitely look for a long bounce there underneath 176. So you can look at 174. Gap fills down to 170. I would definitely get long at 170. Break and hold through the highs of today, though, in case we get bootin', scootin', tootin' to the upside. You got 184, 186 to the upside. Guys, that's all I got for you. Don't forget tomorrow, data, pre-market, jobless claims, and data 30 minutes in. And of course, you got to wake up early, get your levels right, and not do anything fucking stupid. We'll see you bright and early. Peace.